What's going on YouTube? JT Born here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, we're going to talk about Superman House of Brainiac Special. This one is mainly written by Joshua Williamson, who writes chapters 1 and 3 of this, and Mark Russell writes chapter 2, and there's multiple people who worked on the art thing. So this is basically House of Brainiac Part 2.5. So parts 1 and 2 began in Action Comics, and then the most recent issue of Superman. I thought the first part of House of Brainiac was really good, and I enjoyed the second part, but like I said, that first part is really the strength of it. I don't know if this is necessarily essential reading, but when it comes to events, and if Williamson's leading it, just read the stuff that Williamson is involved writing with. You don't have to read anything else to kind of like get everything you need to know in terms of the information. But the storyline this time around, at least like I said, it's separated into 3 parts. The first section, written by Williamson, it kind of gives a little bit of insight into the secrets of Czarnia. Brainiac is kind of like narrating a story about his time there and how he came across somebody by the name of Treb, that's her name. But basically, there was like this uprising, of course, on Czarnia. There was these people who like to live in anarchy. They discovered the secrets to immortality. Treb kind of wanted to get rid of them and contacted Brainiac and tried to make a deal. Brainiac, of course, kind of backed out on that deal in the process, betraying them, because like I said, they were going to give Brainiac the secrets to immortality. Brainiac's thing is like he's the only one allowed to possess knowledge and power, and he alone. But then he saw something that kind of left him in a state of vulnerable weakness he was curious about. Despite pretty much everything coming to an end, he saw somebody on that planet willing to protect someone, and that left him kind of curious. So he decided in a moment of weakness to kind of leave the planet as is, and that's kind of where we end the first section. Now, the second issue, written by Mark Russell, art by Stephen Pugh, is a story more so about the political election of Perry White for mayor of Metropolis, and Bibbo is there running his campaign. And it's about a character, him going up against a character known as Garen Blake, who probably is an alien in disguise, I'm not going to lie. That's probably going to be the big twist of the thing, but we don't know for sure yet. But he's running for mayor of Metropolis, and he wants to deport all the aliens who are living there. They even have an Alex Jones type figure, so you kind of know pretty much everything. Like, as soon as you read the first few pages, like, okay, you know exactly where this thing is going to go. And that's basically kind of the issue in a nutshell. I mean, in terms of the House of Brainiac event, like, he's kind of utilizing like one of Perry White's opponents is basically utilizing the Brainiac attacks to kind of speed up his election campaign stuff. And there's a character who even comes is like, yeah, Garen Blake or whatever for mayor. And then it's like, so who are you going to blame when things don't go so well when Garen Blake does his thing? Garen Blake for mayor, you suck. And that's that. And of course, you have people against aliens who are just living there and yada, yada, yada. Real life, social, political commentary. It's just kind of okay. This isn't as intriguing to me as the actual Brainiac stuff. It's just kind of the elections going on in Metropolis with Perry White. So if you're into that stuff, then cool, that's great. But as for me, I'm more intrigued about Brainiac and all that. I'm not sure why anybody would try to have an election right now when Metropolis was just invaded. But then again, this is the world of DC, and they're used to invasions of that all the time. So they can't hold off on their elections and that forever. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, it was just kind of okay. But then in the final chapter, written by Joshua Williamson, artist by Figo Ossio or whatever, how you say that? Yeah, Ossio. Like I said, it's Brainiac, and he gets in contact with Amanda Waller at one point. So remember all the way back in Dark Crisis. I know it's like having to remember Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, but there was that whole Council of Light going on, and it was kind of left a vague mystery as to who it was. To be honest, I completely forgot about them until this issue kind of reminded me. I'm like, oh yeah, hey, that was the thing. And it turns out it was revealed to be Brainiac, and the Council of Light or whatever got Waller out of, you know, her being trapped on Earth 3 and whatnot, and she revealed the whole thing. Waller's pretty ticked off about this. She talks about, it's like, I beat you once before, which was all the way back in Justice League No Justice. Remember that event? If you want to hear more of my thoughts on that, you can check out my video. I covered that entire event on the channel. To me, Justice League No Justice was kind of the start of, like, that was basically the end of DC Rebirth, and kind of a bit of a downward spiral for DC Comics. Because right after that event, we had a huge creative overhaul with a lot of the stuff. I believe that's when Bendis was coming on as Superman, and then we had the Teen Titans run by where Damian and all those characters were kind of taking a crap on. We had some bad stuff in the Batman books, I think, at that. I don't know if this was at the time when we had the whole wedding fiasco or right around then, but there was just a huge creative overhaul and really nothing. And I think Rick Grayson was around that time, shortly after that time period as well. So we were in basically a really bad state to be a DC Comic Books fan post Justice League No Justice. I think the only one that was kind of doing okay was Justice League, but even then, like, that was kind of really like confusing plot lines because it just kept feeling the need to go bigger and bigger and bigger under like Scott Snyder's tenure on the characters or whatnot. But yeah, so that's basically that. Waller vows to kind of do her thing. Brainiac's still kind of teasing building the Brainiac Queen, and it's going to be continued in Action Comics 1065 and Absolute Power Ground Zero. So they're setting up the next big event while also continuing this House of Brainiac thing. So, but overall consensus, the stuff focusing on Brainiac, that's the stuff I wanted to read about. The stuff with Perry White running as mayor doesn't really interest me quite as much, but I thought it was just kind of all right. Could have been better, but it could have been a lot worse. But as it stands, I thought this one was a decent issue. Like I said, the Brainiac stuff is the stuff I was intrigued by, and it was kind of nice to get some reveals on some plot points about stuff I completely forgot about at the time, but at least, you know, there was a follow-up to it. So definitely the weakest chapter of House of Brainiac, but this is more of a 2.5 stuff. This kind of more expansion, like kind of fleshing things out a little bit more. But I thought it was, I thought it was a decent special. I much prefer the first two issues, but the stuff, like I said, under Williamson, kind of explaining things a little bit and getting us some more details and background and stuff, I thought that was decent. So what did you think of the House of Brainiac special? Let me know in the comment section down below. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content, hit the bell for notifications, all our fun stuff. That's going to wrap it up for this video. I think I got one more DC comic book review I'm going to try and get out this week if I can. But other than that, that should just about cover everything. All right, well, that's all I have to say. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.